pronounced dead shortly after arrival of injuries he sustained in this incident here on Manhattan Boulevard. Our street crimes officer is Deputy David F. Michel Jr. He's been a member both full-time and reserve for the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office since 2007. In 2015, he was transferred to the Street Crimes Unit, which is where his current assignment was when this tragedy occurred. We do have a suspect in custody at this time. He was one of the suspects that we believed we stopped back here in Pebble Walk with the assistance of members of the Patrol Division and a slew of other officers who responded to the scene. In our air unit in K9, we were successful in locating one of the individuals that was pointed out by witnesses that he fit the description. He is currently at University Hospital being treated for minor injuries that he sustained in what we believe was the initial altercation between he and our officer, Officer Michel.
Did you recover a gun from that suspect?
I don't have any information about a weapon.
Are you looking for anybody else?
Not at this time. We believe that was one suspect, a lone suspect. Based on the witness's account of what took place. That's what we believe at this time. However, if anyone has any information in regards to what took place here, if there are any witnesses who passed at the time, there were several people on social media who posted photographs of different scenes here, that we'd ask that they share that with us by contacting us via JPSO.com or on our Facebook page.
So Johnny, there was a struggle, then gunfire, or maybe just explain to the extent that you can what went down.
Like I said, without going into specific details, because that's what the sheriff will do tonight, I can only tell you based on the witness's account was that the officer approached the suspect and at some point in time a struggle ensued between the suspect and the officer. The suspect was seen retrieving a weapon from his waistband. The suspect pulled the weapon, fired several shots, including when the officer was down, he also fired additional shots.
Where was the guy? Was he hiding in a house? Was somebody harboring?
I think it was inside a residence, but I'm not certain. We'll know about that later on tonight.
Can you talk about what the Street Crime Unit does?
Basically, the Street Crimes Unit of the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office is comprised of about 15 deputy sheriffs and some supervisors. And their primary objective is to patrol the high crime areas that we identified many years ago. This particular neighborhood, Pebble Walk, is in fact one of those neighborhoods. Chief Taffaro can probably tell you a little bit more about the high crime areas that we have, because Chief Taffaro is the commander of our Operations Bureau.
We have 17 areas, and we usually identify by activity, and then the officers respond at the request of the district commanders, and they'll notice activity going on, hand-to-hand sales and stuff like that, and the Street Crimes Unit addresses those things. Plus, we get calling complaints that Street Crimes deals with. I want to say, obviously, today was the most difficult time. Sheriff Norman's been in touch with me a bunch. He's flying in from the National Sheriff's Association. Most difficult task for any law enforcement is facing a mother, a wife, a son, a father that's en route. Very, very tragic time for all of us. Our whole family is very sad about this.
Can you tell us about Deputy David Michel? Can you talk about him as a man?
I know him personally because he worked in the 4th District at one time. He's a great guy. He's well liked. It was quite obvious at the hospital how many friends he had. He's just one of those guys that was always cheerful. I spoke with his father on the way here, and his dad told me, he said, as difficult as this is, he's doing what he loved to do.